Well, what you see here is you see the original Gunslinger monster truck. It's created and built out of Oldsmar, Florida. We moved to a little town of Bushnell 7 years ago, and I campaign them out of there. We had 2 trucks. We're down to 1 truck for this year. This is my state-of-the-art. I know she's a little beat up and banged up because, you know, these people like to see these things run hard. But this thing here is an all-tube chassis chrome moly truck. It's got a 26-inch coilover shock with a 26-inch triple bypass in the rear and a 5 bypass shock in the front for some extreme tunability for the air that you see us get on Monster Jam and a speed channel. Well, what we've done this year is stepped up to the plate, and I was known for King of the Air back in the day, which was only 5 years ago, but there comes a time when you take a good beating in these trucks. It's like we got to go ahead and we got to revamp and make these things take the abuse we put them through. It used to be car crushers. Well, now it's nothing to jump regular passenger vans. Well, now we're into school buses. So when you take a monster truck that weighs 9,000 pounds, which my trucks weigh 9,000, it is the lightest truck in the industry. A lot of them weigh 10,000 and 10.5. Let's just use the number 10,000. You take a 10,000 pound truck, which isn't much heavier than what you see a Super Duty riding around on a road, a 4-door SUV excursion. That's about the equivalent weight. And you ram it into the side of another car, it's one thing. Then you ram it into the side of a van, that's another thing. So then we're into school buses. Of course, it's a staircase effect. But what it does is it's called raising a bar. We get higher up in the air. So the hang time, like anything, if you throw a ball, there's an arc to it and it comes down. Well, we're having some issues with the companies that actually put these things on to where it's just straight up and it's straight down. Well, as you know, everything breaks. You know, you can toss an egg back and forth to each other and it never breaks, you know, but if it hits something hard, you stop the momentum, it breaks. Trucks are the same way, and we are humans that are driving these things. I take pride. I've been in the business now 19 years. We've got a good back, got a good strong heart to keep going. And I've got my son, Michael Hartsock, which is known as Son of the Gun. He'll be taking this thing over within no time. But I always want to keep technology on his side. We take pride in our tractor trailers that we run up and down the road in. They're showpieces. We also use them as our billboard. It's got the websites on there. We sell a lot of merchandise off the internet, which I love every one of you that buy from us. You know, like they say, it puts beer in the wagon and milk in the refrigerator.
There we go.
That's exactly what we appreciate all of our fans by buying our merchandise. And yes, we do put a lot of it back in the truck. But you know what? I got a couple of good guys back at the shop that don't get to be seen out here on the road with me that do a great job.
Give them a shout out.
And you know what? Jeff Sims is one of them. And my lovely wife, Kathy Hartsock, she's there doing the books, and she's there with the 409 and the Windex, making sure I can see out of the window, and then just taking off the grime off the body while we're in there putting rear ends in it and transmissions and changing bearings out in motors and doing all the things that us guys like to do. But without that whole package, and I've got a great daughter, Caitlin Hartsock. She's up there in Gainesville, and for all you Gator fans, she's up there and she's serving Gainesville proud. She's a beautiful girl and a daddy's girl, so I'm very proud of her. But when she comes home for the weekends, man, she's like, Dad, is there anything you need? And it's like, Kate, and that's her name, Caitlin, she'll get in there with the shop vac and go through the trailer, or she'll go in there and she'll do inventory on the merchandise, or she'll get in there and she'll help answer some of the emails that we get, because we get overloaded with emails. When I'm gone for 3 days on the road, I don't really get to check them like I should, because I got to focus on the highway and all the fans that I'm in front of. They're there, they're kind of sifting through it, giving me a heads up of what's going on, and then I get in there and I get back with them and tell them thanks for everything and the support that we have, because without the fans, I don't have anything. Everybody that bought a ticket for this place just paid for my paycheck for being here this weekend. It's a great way to make a living. There's a lot of racers that can't do that. There's a lot of roundy-round guys. There's everything in general. I am blessed to do what I do because these people love monster trucks and they love the personnel behind it. They know Gunslinger, but they also know that when there's a gunslinger out there, it's Scott Hartsock behind the wheel, the owner, the creator, and the man that always likes to come out and say, I'm cocked, locked, and ready to rock.
Yeehaw. Now, thank you so much for sharing that with us, because a lot of times we don't hear what goes on after you get back to the shop, or who's helping you to get out of the shop and into the field and race. So I really appreciate you giving us the perspective on what your crew does for you and what some of the others does back in the office. That's really, really great. Now, I also noticed that you're giving a special a safety message to some of the kids out there walking away after you sign their shirts and they sign your autograph for them. Now, if you want to, what's that safety message that you're giving out? One of many.
Well, I always like to say they see what we do out here, getting wild and carrying on. And no matter whether we roll these trucks over, which it happens, and safety is number one. But most important thing we do, whether I get in that or I get in my personal car, and I try to preach to everyone that comes up there to me, buckle up. It does not hurt to wear your seatbelt. And it might save a life. If I can tell somebody and drill it in their head right here, because I'm buckling up and I can do what I do, those guys leave here, I tell them, be safe going home and don't forget to buckle up, because I want to see you next year. Bring back that picture we just took and show me that I've gotten bigger or you've gotten bigger. But most of all, you know, friends in the outdoors, let's be safe, love every one of us, and go on to the next event.